when we look at Japan today, it's a beacon of technological development and culture, and that's in large part due to the efforts of General Douglas MacArthur. So today, I'm going to tell you how MacArthur shaped modern Japan and contributed to the Philippines during World War II, but also, more importantly, why I believe he is one of the most influential figures in history. So when it comes to the Philippines, MacArthur was kind of ahead of his time. He considered the Filipino people to be his equals, which was a nice change from the rampant racism of the time. He helped them develop a defense force, which came in handy when the Japanese finally invaded in 1941. And although he was pushed back, he still defended the island right up until Roosevelt ordered him to retreat. But he promised to return, and he kept that promise. With the help of Admiral Chester Nimitz, he liberated the island from the Japanese, and even today he's considered a national hero in the Philippines. After the war, Japan was ravaged. Its economy was in tatters, its government was basically non-existent, and the United States had occupied it. And General MacArthur was put in charge of the reconstruction efforts. He worked to liberalize Japan's government, creating a modern democracy. He wrote a new constitution and addressed issues such as women's rights, healthcare, education, the list goes on. He also reorganized Japan's military, stripping it of its ability to wage war and making it firmly a defensive force. Also, a lot of the military hardliners who sued for war in the first place were fired, thus preventing any kind of military uprising. But he wasn't ignorant. In fact, MacArthur was pretty ahead of his time. He had a huge respect for Asian culture, and he considered Asia to be the future of America, not Europe. He also was very tolerant of specifically Japanese culture during his occupation. He even had tea with Emperor Hirohito. He was also pretty far-sighted when it came to war. He predicted that the Axis powers would be a threat, but America didn't want to listen because they were already sick of war after the First World War. He was also contacted by John F. Kennedy and asked about the Asian situation in the 60s, and MacArthur told Kennedy in no uncertain terms he should not invade Vietnam. And we all know where that went. So basically, General MacArthur did a lot for the world. He transformed an imperial military junta into a proper democracy. He helped defend an entire island and then came back to liberate it. And he was probably one of the most forward-thinking people of his time. And I believe that he should have more recognition for that fact. And besides, without him, we probably wouldn't have anime. Thank you.